What's going on? This is Marcus, and you're at the channel of the Debt Free Dad.
We should have video. No.
Come on, man.
I almost failed.
That's what you get. All right.
Wait, when am I supposed to go?
What's going on? This is Marcus, and you're at the channel of the Debt Free Dad. Well, we're following my debt free journey and learning about finance. In today's video, I'm going to talk about.
We should have video.
What's going on? I'm Marcus, and this is
Darlene standing on her tippy toes.
Yeah, because she's short and the light just bouncing off her head and everything.
There you
Yeah,
go.
right there.
Right there.
That's what we're going to do, right there.
Right
We got to
there.
do a Hodge twin style.
All
You
right.
stand there, and I'm going to stand here, all right?
All right, but you can't see my thing.
What's going on? I'm Marcus, and this is Darlene, and she's wearing a Debt Free Dad shirt. And in today's video, we are going to go over all the offers that we got for our rental property. We're going to let y'all know what offer we accepted. And we're going to do it together as Team Debt Free Dad, right?
Right.
Right. If you're interested in following if you're interested in following our debt-free journey and learning about finance, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the bell notification, get notified of new content. As always, I gotta give the disclaimer: I'm not an attorney. She's not an attorney. I'm an attorney. I'm a licensed attorney, but I'm not your attorney. So, this is terrible. So, seek a professional in your local geographic area if you're looking for legal and financial advice. Let's jump into the video. Just to recap, we listed the property as is for $157,000, which I talked about in the previous video, the dial link above. Now, the first offer that we got was $140,000. So, I don't have nothing to say about that offer personally.
So I don't know if he went over what the listing price was. The listing price was for $157,000. So to get an offer for $140,000, that ain't even worth even looking at.
Yeah, I felt like that was disrespectful. I felt like that was disrespectful. It was a cash offer though, but it was utter borderline. If you aren't willing in this market to offer the asking price initially, you don't want a house. I don't care if there's a primary residence. If you ask for anything under the asking price, you're going to get laughed out. So this goes to show me that the individual who sent this offer wasn't serious about it, first of all. Or they probably thought that we were over leveraged financially and just wanted to buy it at anything possible. But I keep the damn thing and throw another tenant in there before I sold it for anything below asking price. That's just kind of my position.
And I mean, honestly, they might have thought that that's what the property was worth. It wasn't worth what we were asking. I mean, some people do think that, you may go high over what the property is worth. So to them, it was worth $140,000.
Nah, I think they just thought that we might have been struggling and trying to get rid of it. Because
Well,
you can go online.
Give the background on who made the offer.
But I mean, you can go online to any site and put in property sold in the last 30 days in this zip code, and it'll show you what was sold and how much. So not one house in that area sold for under $150 in the last 3 months.
You
so
can look at the house right next door to us
get the hell out of here.
and see how much that went for in October of 2020. So I see your point.
I think the other thing is, this is the difference between men and women. I just look at the offer and I looked at the number. I literally didn't look at any of the names attached. I would open the document, go straight to the number. We're selling this house, as you all know, about our incompetent HOA. So one of the main characters in the incompetent HOA, we will refer to keep their anonymity as D. So apparently this offer is from D. Of course, I didn't know. I just saw the number and was like, next. But the wife identified that and came and told me. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so that's probably why the offer was $140,000. That's why I said that that person probably think that that's what the property is worth. But
you better do your due diligence. Don't come with no dumbass offer like $140,000 for something that appraised for $154 7 months ago.
Right.
That's just stupid. All right, so that was offer number one, which we, like we said, we found quite entertaining. Next, let's go to offer number two. Offer number two that we got was essentially $147,000. Next, we didn't even need to talk about that one. Do we need to talk about that one? Yeah, we ain't even, yeah, you ain't see it because I didn't give a damn to tell you about it. And I was like, man, these people, they sound goofy as hell. That's exactly what I said. So now let's get to something more reasonable. So, oh, I went to the wrong one. The next offer that we got was for $162,000. All right. So now we talking at least somebody who actually really wants the property. They were going to give a $1,500 earnest money deposit and a $1,500 due diligence deposit. Those essentially deposits people put to show their interest in the property. Sometimes, if the sale falls through, the earnest deposit, in some instances, depending on what the contract can say, can be completely returned, or a portion of it may be forfeited depending on what the clause is for the party terminating the contract. The due diligence fee, essentially how the due diligence fee is once you pay that due diligence fee, you lost it. If you back out of the sale at any time for any reason, the actual seller keeps that due diligence fee. And so this one was interesting because at least this one was a VA loan.
Yeah.
I think this was the one that was a VA loan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that one?
I don't know. I mean, that's VA loan is always good to me, but of course there's some restrictions when it comes to VA loans.
I was sitting about to talk about you. I was about to say, if you don't talk about all the talking points and stuff we talked about,
Yeah, I know there's
I don't know. What you think about that one? I don't know. VA loans, VA loans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it because I got a VA loan. I plan to use it one day. So, but there are restrictions to it. So.
Nah, we ain't using no VA loan ever again.
Well,
Because the VA loan is the most expensive loan you get because you don't put no money down and you paying forever. So,
yeah.
so we ain't losing the VA loan. She don't even listen to
I
her.
would use it.
Whatever. Anyway, so the only thing that caught me up on this one and kind of piqued my interest is, well, two things. One, if a person's taking out the VA loan, I know it's going to be a residential property, so that actually did pique my interest, okay? And the other thing was, with a VA loan, the VA inspectors sometimes may require you to do additional repairs before they approve the loan. That was the kind of the point that was really problematic for me because I feel relatively confident that it'll pass the VA inspection, but I didn't want to take that risk considering that I don't want to waste any capital to do any improvements. That defeat the whole point of selling it as is. So, but if I know that if it was a residential property, this person is using it as their residential property, and they didn't have to go through that extra VA loan inspection hurdle, this one would really be favorable to me because I would actually be willing in some instances to sell a little bit less than the higher offer for somebody who's using it as their residential property. That's just kind of where I'm willing to. And now it can't be that. It can't be if $2,500, maybe $5,000 less than an offer if it was some corporation I might be willing to concede to just because I know a person is going to use it as their family home. I mean, money not everything, and I think considering how hard it is to buy houses and how expensive it is to buy houses, and these corporations making the housing market, unsustainable for regular people, that's something I would have considered if it's not that far off from the max offer. And the last offer that we got, well, actually, this was the last offer we got. The next offer we received prior to this VA loan offer, that was for $185,000. Now, that's significantly more than the asking price of $157,000. So, I mean, I know how I felt. I think I probably replied before I even talked to you, but what was your thoughts?
No, I think we kind of both responded like, yep, this is a yes, because I immediately called you, remember?
Yeah.
So, we was kind of on the agreement with that offer.
Right.
Because it was, of course, significantly higher.
Yeah. And if you want to know what we owe on the house, I'll put a link above to our net worth video from like 3 months ago that'll show just around what that balance was. But when we got that offer, it was $185,000. In the previous video where I talked about negotiation, you're going to a negotiation, you need to have your high point, like this is our max asking, this is what we're willing to accept, and this is our plan B. So really going in, my max that I would love to get in the best case scenario world would have been $185,000. So that was met. The lowest that I would have been willing to take is probably around 175-ish, I think, is probably the lowest. And if you see the net worth video, what we owe on the property, you'll understand why 175 was really kind of my low point. And my plan B was just, and I mean, you let me know if yours was different. If I couldn't get anything that I thought was in the ballpark, I would have just did the renovations and put a new tenant in and try again in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we landed at. This contract did have one contingency in it, and it was a contingency that I think we both were willing to accept. Again, last video with the negotiations, we talked about the appraisal that was done last year before the refinance. But essentially, the offer is for $185,000 or $15,000 over the new appraisal price. So let's take it into context. Last year, about 7 months ago, it appraised for $154,000. So just considering the market, I think that I think it's fair to say it'll appraise for somewhere between 160 to maybe 166, 167. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, 160.
So I mean, even if it appraised at 160, we got 15,000 over that, 175. That'll put us right in our ballpark of, oh man, this is right where we need to be. I feel relatively confident considering that, like I said, 6 to 7 months ago it was appraised at 154. The market hasn't done anything but gone up since then.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really, why I thought this offer was good. Best case scenario, this offer will give us our max. Worst case scenario, it'll put us at what the minimum is, and the minimum is still over what the asking price is for the property. So I think that kind of put us in a good standpoint.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, money-wise, it made sense.
Right. I tell you, my wife, I think, well, she might not. I think the kids did. My son had like a, and it's something people got to get out of. You got to get unattached emotionally from property. It's just the house you live in. But my son was like, oh, I grew up in that home. And I ain't going to lie, for a hot second, I was like, oh man, I remember putting Aaron's height on the wall, how tall he was.
Yeah.
And that lasted for maybe a day. And I was like, what the hell am I talking about? We about to get this, we about to sell this damn thing. But don't be emotionally attached. I don't know if you felt that way.
Yeah.
But I thought about it for a few days.
I wasn't emotionally attached. I mean, I kind of was because it was my son's first house. It was my first house that I owned. But yeah, I mean, I'm still emotionally attached to my childhood home. So I get it. Like, I want to go back and buy my childhood home and keep it forever. So, I mean, I get it.
I don't want my childhood home.
Too bad, he's going to have it anyway.
I ain't going to have it. That's a whole other story for a whole other day about family and inheritance and how crazy it get. And we ain't gonna, that's a whole nother video for a whole nother topic. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think what we're going to do to just kind of wrap this thing up, you already know what the offer is that we accepted because we just talked about it. But I think what we're going to do to wrap this up, we'll probably do a live video. I'm glad because I got the live setup actually looking decent so it looks like this. But we'll probably do a live video where we go over just kind of what options we have with the windfall from selling this property. Because, I mean, we got a lot of options kind of at our disposal, and I guess right now for the most part we're still mulling things through, but we'll figure it out. We'll probably do a live just to kind of go through all of the options, what we considered, then let you all know what we ultimately decided to do, and then we'll do a quick question and answer session where y'all can ask the debt-free dad and Mrs. Debt-free Dad about I don't know, anything finance related, or you can always get some beautiful relationship advice from me, the guru.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I can tell you what not to do. What you don't do is act like you know everything. That's free advice that's free relationship advice on a finance video. So that's rule number one. Don't act like you know everything.
And the second thing is to listen.
See rule number one. Alright, that's it. Hey, as always, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Peace out.
All right. Goodbye.
Peace. Right now, if you're still tuned in, there are a few videos on the screen. Check out those videos if you're interested in following my debt-free journey, our debt-free journey, and learning more about finance. And if you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe link.